A man trapped in the desert for 3 days and nights. Just as he was about to fall into despair, the man suddenly discovered a house at the bottom of a cliff. He quickly climbed down the ladder, hoping to get some water to drink. However, he had no idea that he had just opened the gates of hell. Inside the house, a woman was preparing dinner. The man explained that he had gotten lost in the desert and asked to borrow a phone to call for help. The woman said she didn't have a phone, but she had just finished making dinner and offered to share it with him if he was hungry. As the man was about to take a bite of the food, he hesitated. Something about it just didn't seem right. In the end, he only drank some water to quench his hunger. Since it was getting late, he decided to spend the night there and leave at dawn. To his surprise, when the second day arrived, the man discovered that a section of the ladder had mysteriously disappeared. He looked around but couldn't find the missing section anywhere. He thought maybe the woman had taken it away during the night. Seeing that the woman was still asleep, he didn't want to disturb her. Out of boredom, he took out his camera and started taking pictures. Some wooden stakes sticking out of the ground caught his attention, and he took many photos of them. Little did he know, these were the graves of men who had been lured there by the woman. Before long, the woman came out to do some work. The man asked her where the ladder had gone, but she claimed she didn't know either. Perhaps someone else had taken it because they needed it and would return it in a few days. The man asked if there were other people living there, but the woman remained silent. He couldn't bear to stay there for another moment and started trying to climb out with his bare hands. However, the irregular terrain made it impossible to get a good grip. After many failed attempts, he stole a hammer while the woman wasn't looking. With the hammer, climbing became much easier. But once he reached a certain height, even the hammer was no longer useful. As he gritted his teeth and persevered, a hen suddenly flew out from above, startling him and causing him to fall. When he woke up, he was lying on the bed. It seemed the woman had saved him. The man limped out of the house and looked around. The missing section of the ladder still hadn't been returned. At this point, he completely lost his patience. He dragged the woman out and demanded to know how he could leave. He also shouted into the abyss, trying to call out to whoever had taken the ladder. However, in his irrationality, he never considered one question. What if the woman didn't know how to get out either? Maybe that's why she had been trapped there all along. The woman still didn't answer his question, only repeating that she could take care of him. Just as the man was at a loss for what to do, a shout suddenly came from above. A boy asked if he needed help. The man hurried over and said he was trapped, and asked if someone could help him get out. The boy said they happened to have a rope and suggested trying to pull him up with it. With that, a long rope was thrown down and the man was slowly hoisted up. He was overjoyed, but only the woman knew the more terrifying fate that awaited him.